Welcome back, gang. It's Delty from Deltiasgaming.com. We've got a Deadlands preview, update 32 for the Elder Scrolls Online, coming to the PTS this Monday, September 20th, and there's a lot of quality life improvements, especially for you console folks. So the too long didn't read version, Multispec called the Armory, Skyshard tracking for those folks on console, a new zone called the Deadlands, along with 3 new mythic items, and a new RNG system that's going to make gear a lot easier to obtain. So let me go over these briefly with you, what I learned on ESO Live. Links in the description below if you'd like to watch the video on demand. Thanks for watching. So these first videos up is what you're seeing, the Deadlands, and a Plane of Oblivion is what I gather. And it's your typical part of Elder Scrolls Online with the new DLC. DLC is called Deadlands. You're going to be going into these places, and it reminds me visually of what you would experience in Blackwood Oblivion portals, just like a really upscale one. And this will conclude the year-long story. For folks that love story out there, this looks like something you could sink your teeth in. New Overland, we can expect new gear sets to collect. You probably can expect new crafting as well, but they didn't touch on that in this specific video. Moreover, they said 3 new mythics to collect, so we'll have to do some scavenging hunts here pretty soon. And that's kind of just really what the Deadlands is about. Questing, cool looking lore, and it feels very Oblivion. There's also a bunch of new combat changes they talked about in this specific video. I'm not going to go into those in detail, but what I am going to go into in detail is some new ways to collect gear. The community team and the developers kind of highlighted some changes that's going to come with RNG, and they did this by foreshadowing it with this interface here. Essentially, it's a cleaned up interface that allows you to get a snapshot on all the zones a little bit quicker on what you've collected. As you can see, this is a PTS template, so they collected everything. This kind of segue into Rich Lambert giving some details on how the RNG is going to work in the future. And the too long didn't read version of this is, let's say you're going after that painful sharpened VMA staff. You're going after the Fire Medusa staff. Essentially what it's going to do is read what you filled out in the sticker book in that specific dungeon or trial or arena. And then it's going to prioritize things you have not collected.
So basically what that means is when you kill a boss that drops a particular item in an item set, the tech is going to look at your sticker book and we'll pick from something that you don't have. So as an example of this, I go into Ark's Cranium. I'm, missing that Inferno staff of Medusa. I'm, also missing, a Resto staff of Lamia Song, I think is the other item set in there. And there's one other. When you kill a boss,
it doesn't even matter at this point. Chat's just so excited. You can say anything at this point.
So when you kill a boss, that next time it's only going to roll on those 2 items.
That's awesome.
So you're progressing through, you're guaranteed after a certain number, there's a maximum cap that you would have to run that dungeon in order to get the piece you want, the thing you want.
That's awesome. So you're effectively guaranteed not to get a duplicate. Is that right?
Yeah. So yes. But there's some caveats in there, a couple of notes on this, right? So once you get everything in the sticker book, it reverts back to how it works right now. It's totally RNG. We're also not changing the sourcing of sets. So bosses that only dropped boots and belts and gauntlets for whatever will still only drop those. So you can't just farm the first boss over and over and over to get everything you want, because I know players will do that. You'll still have to go, if you want the weapons from Ark's Cranium, you have to go and kill the final boss in Ark's Cranium. But it's a huge improvement in the overall kind of quality of life for players.
Many of us have been looking for that lightning staff random, or that dagger from Vatashram, or that 2H, or this and that. This is going to expedite the endless rat race of gear chasing in Elder Scrolls Online, allowing you to do the things that you actually want to do in the game more and more often. Really good stuff here on this one. Also, they touched on the Skyshard tracker and didn't really show that per se too much. But what it's going to do is kind of give you an interface, specifically on consoles or Stadia, if you don't have all the fancy add-ons, that's going to allow you to track the Skyshards pretty easily. Here's a quick picture in the delve and what you can expect it to go away after you collect it. This is going to be a huge quality of life, because I know when I used to play console, I'd have my phone out or a second monitor kind of run around trying to find a Skyshard. So this is basic stuff, should be in the game, and now hopefully it's going to be, and it's going to make it a lot easier. They didn't touch necessarily on lore books, or I might have missed that, but that would be another good feature that they could add later on down the road. So massive change coming is the Armory, what they preview right here. This is essentially multi-spec. So what they showed was skills, champion points, attributes, morphs, and they even said like vampirism or werewolf bites. You can have different loadouts per characters. Speaking from someone that has 18 characters on one account, PCNA, this is exactly what we've been wanting for a very, very long time, because essentially I just start new characters, one to tank, one to PvP, one to heal, and so on. Now, they talked about the Armory and some of the functionality. Essentially, it's free in the Crown Store. It's going to be allowed to be put in your home. And that's what you see right above me in the top right. You're going to go to the station and you're going to be able to do it. And limited amount of builds that you can use, but you can buy up to 10 in the Crown Store. Speaking of the Crown Store, now they're going to sell something like this, which is like a banker or a merchant that you're going to be able to come out and use for multi-spec. So it's a way to probably monetize this system, both in terms of your house, being out in the field, and using this multi-spec system. Me personally, I absolutely love this. If you know anything about me, I play a gazillion builds, over 38 as I counted right now, and having different characters for them all, having a gazillion gear sets and changing morphs in between trials and VMA and so on, it's a constant pain, which I absolutely love this system because I want to spend the time doing things in Elder Scrolls Online I like doing. The combat, the dungeons, the trials, the PvP, not having to respec, reroll characters, start all over. Me on the monetization point of this, I don't mind the monetization of this because this is a really big quality of life. I'm willing to pay for quality of life, especially if it saves me a lot of time and allows me to enjoy my hobby, my entertainment a lot more. Now, you'll notice there was no PvP changes or anything like that. There's a huge amount of combat changes. I'm going to have to break it down in a separate video, just giving you a glance of this stuff right now. Moreover, this is going to be on the public test server next week. So I'm going to actually dive in here. I stream live on twitch.tv/Deltiasgaming now if you want to see me live. So I'm going to test out this hybridization multi-spec. I'm going to test out some of the new combat changes. I'm going to look at the new zone. We're going to find those new mythics and see exactly what they do. So one good, which is a lot of quality of life stuff, especially you folks on consoles. Other one I'm a little bit skeptical on is the combat changes, as there's constantly massive, huge overhauls. It gets a little bit tiresome, and I'm skeptical on that, but I'll digest a little bit more and get a video out to you. You PvPers out there are probably wondering about Cyrodiil performance, and unfortunately they didn't touch base on it, but this is what we got for now. It's a step in the right direction and big quality of life. Thanks for watching.